Hi everyone, welcome to Power Bob-Omb Girls. We are back with our third episode. So today we're going to go over the usual, give you our top 5 matches we've watched in the last 2 weeks, maybe talk a little bit of New Japan, and a few other segments we have planned for you guys. So let's do this. Kyla's going to start off with her top 5 first today.
Alright, so my top 5, I have A.C.H versus Brody King as my number 5, and that was from Defy. My number 4 is Tony Storm versus Charlie Morgan at Progress. And then my third is TK Cooper versus Mambo versus Jordan Devlin at Progress. And then my number 2 is A.C.H versus Flip Gordon at New Japan Battle of Super Juniors. And then my number 1 is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Chuck Mambo at Progress.
Nice. Okay. So, mine, number 5 is A.C.H versus Flip Gordon from Battle of Super Juniors. Number 4 is Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz versus Trey Miguel and Stephen Wolf from the AAW Epic Show. Number 3 is Hiramu versus El Desperado from Battle of Super Juniors. Number 2 is going to surprise Kyla, because she's going to think it was number 1, is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Chuck Mambo at Super Strong Style 16. But there's a reason it's number 2, and I'll get to it. Because number 1 is Chris Brooks versus Cassius Ohno at Super Strong Style 16. And there's just a reason that one kind of took over as my number 1. We'll talk about it when we get to it, so.
You definitely threw me off with that one. I thought that would be number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1 would be Mambo versus Zack Sabre Jr.
It was really hard to choose last night. I, went back and forth. I put in 4 and 5 first. And then I was like, what order do I put these top 3 in? Because any of them could have probably flip-flopped around. But we'll talk about it. I betrayed Zack Sabre Jr. It's my life. Okay, so let's talk about your number 5. Or my number 5, your number 2 first.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Flip Gordon versus A.C.H. I really like this match, mainly because it, really shown Flip Gordon, growing as a performer. He's been kind of stuck underneath, Bullet Club, and he hasn't really had a chance to really shine in his own way. And this is, him stepping out of that.
Yeah.
Proving that he's actually worthy of, all these chances that he's gotten. He's, really new to wrestling. He's not, been here for, years.
Yeah, I think it's only, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So him, coming and proving himself, and, this match with A.C.H. really, proved that he's someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him already, but I think that's mainly because he was with Bullet Club. Not with Bullet Club, but he works with the Elite, so I think everyone's like, oh, Flip Gordon, love him. Without really looking at his matches.
And then there's me, who was not, honestly, a big fan of Flip. I know, I'm an asshole. I don't know what to tell you. Everyone gets mad about it. Our one friend we used to be friends with, and are not anymore, would get really mad every time I mentioned that I didn't really care for Flip. But I just feel like he tends to get really, plain in the ring, and he falls back on the same, 2 and 3 spots all the time. Which definitely is in part because he's newer, so I'll give him that. But this match, I feel like he really stepped it up and proved what he could be when given the opportunity. It makes me think that there's a lot more to Flip that we haven't really seen yet, because Ring of Honor likes his more goofy kind of personality. But I liked seeing more serious Flip, and I was really, really happy with this match. I mean, I love A.C.H. anyways, so it was more of a surprise for me, the Flip side of it, because I knew A.C.H. would do amazing. But I was like, okay, his first match is Flip, it is what it is. And then it blew me out of the water, it was amazing. So, definitely a big shout out to Flip. I was wrong. You are not boring in the ring when you actually turn it up. So.
Yeah. I mean, his matches are entertaining for, the first few matches you see, but like you said, it gets kind of mundane, and it's the same match over and over again. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of boring. But him as a person, I was more of a fan of him as a person than I was as a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's funny on Twitter. He likes to troll people.
Yeah. The earth is
But
round
him,
flip.
but that spot that him and A.C.H did where he did the springboard from one top rope to the other top rope, and then like
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
That was one of my favorite spots. That, and just seeing, like, kind of crafty reversals, that's what I was most excited to see out of Flip, because I feel like usually he's more of, like, a straightforward wrestler, but there was a spot where A.C.H was on the top rope that led to that other spot, where he was gonna dive off onto Flip, and he just jumped up and, like, kicked his leg after jumping on the top rope, and then jumped back down. And I just like little spots like that, where it's, like, quick thinking, and it shows that they're kind of, like, on top of shit, and not just, like, okay, here's a move, and we're gonna do this move and this move into the next move, because with some people you can kind of see that, like, thought process going, because they're getting used to it. And I feel like sometimes that's, like, the vibe I got from Flip, but he killed it this match. He had all kinds of little spots like that, where it was just clever thinking that flipped the match back in his favor, so.
Yeah, and it was definitely a match where you were like, anyone could have won it. Like, it could have went either way. I wasn't like, because usually when I was going into that match, I was really thinking that A.C.H was probably going to dominate most of the match, because Flip is newer to New Japan, so I didn't think they would like try to put him over, but it was really good.
It was a great match. I also liked seeing the more aggressive side from both of them. Like, A.C.H definitely always knows when to turn on that, like, aggression, but overall he's more of, like happy, more positive, like, force everywhere I always see him. But it was cool seeing him come into New Japan and have that really serious attitude, like, he's back, he's gonna take over and win this tournament. And it was cool to seeing him, like, all the way, like, serious face on, he's gonna murder Flip Gordon, and vice versa. So, another really cool spot from this match that was actually what turned out to be my favorite spot of the match, because it's really cool and really clever, was Flip went for a thrust kick on A.C.H towards the end of the match, and he thought that he landed it, and commentary kind of made sure to put over in your head, like, oh, he didn't actually land this kick on him. It maybe only, like, grazed him. But Flip thought he landed it, so he went to the top rope to hit probably a moonsault or a frog splash off. And A.C.H moved out of the way and was ready to reverse and attack him back. And it's what pretty much shifted the match and helped A.C.H win it a few minutes later. And it was just a really cool spot. I like when, like, a spot tells more story than just, like, being flashy. So, that was cool. That's one of the things New Japan does best, is having, like, callbacks things. So, that was my favorite spot of the whole match, honestly.
I agree.
Oh, and then one that I know you were impressed with, too. The one-armed German suplex.
Oh, yes.
By A.C.H. Because his arm is already injured and Flip worked over his arm. He went to suplex Flip and couldn't do it with both arms, so he stuck Flip in his arm like he was a grown baby and suplexed the shit out of him. A.C.H. is amazing. You're gonna hear that a lot on this podcast. Yeah,
definitely. He's already, like, in 2 of my top 5 matches, and he's an awesome dude in general.
He is. He's a really good person.
Like, A.C.H, you have to. He's great in the ring. He's funny. He's entertaining. He's serious. He's got, like, everything that you would want in a wrestler.
It's true. He's a genuinely good person. I'm always too afraid to meet people at AAW shows because I turn into a nervous wreck. But I've seen him interacting with fans, and I see the way he interacts with other wrestlers, and you can just tell that A.C.H is, like, a genuinely really cool, good dude, so definitely support people like A.C.H. If you want wrestling to be better and less shitty and negative, those are the people you need to seek out.
Agreed. Couldn't say it better myself.
Okay. Then, let's see. So, for my number 4 match, then, because we're going to kind of flip-flop till we get to those top ones. Mine was Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz versus Trey Miguel and Stephen Wolf. This was my first AAW show I actually went to, like live and experienced. So it was really cool watching it back. And this is the match that the day we went, my friend and I like sold us on AAW. Like this was the match where we were like, holy shit, this is amazing, and like fell in love with that. And pretty much where I like dived into just falling in love with indie wrestling. So definitely huge shout out to AAW and the 4 guys in this match. They're like 4 of the best wrestlers probably in the world right now, and especially on the indie scene. Like if you haven't watched the Epic show, watch this match. It's like the second match in. It's amazing. Like just some of the best high flyers you'll see just going crazy and like really putting on a show of why, even though they're the second match of the night, they're going to be the best match of the night on a card with Jushin Thunder Liger. So like that tells you something, because that whole show was great, but this match stole the show right off the bat. So definitely watch that one. A spot that I really liked from it was, let me find it. Well, for one thing, Wentz and Xavier are like a really good team together. Everything they do is super fluid, and it's like they communicate telepathically, like they could always kind of figure it out. But Wentz used Desmond Xavier as a stepping stone to jump up and launch himself into Stephen Wolf and get him out of the ring to isolate Trey Miguel, because he had taken most of the beating through the match. And then Desmond Xavier lifted Trey Miguel into a super kick and held him so that Zachary Wentz could fly up in the air, because he has like crazy like height to his jumps, and double stomped the shit out of Trey Miguel. And it was a really cool fast sequence, and it was definitely like my standout one of the night. Like it was really cool. Legend finish. I don't want to really give away who won the match, because I want people to go watch AAW. Because
yeah, it was like just released too.
Yeah, it's brand new. So they just put it on. They did just put on another one as well that I'm sure we'll talk about next podcast. But watch the Epic show. Watch this match. But it's really good. You definitely will not regret checking this match out if you like high-flying wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch that match. But I know that it's like they deliver in every match, so I'm not going to be disappointed once I actually do sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Also, watch it just to see Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz like finisher move. Like every time they do it, whether it gets like broken up or not, it's the coolest tag team finisher ever. I will go on record and say that it is fucking awesome. So check it out. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You have to go watch it now. So, Kyla's turn for her number 5 match.
So, my number 5 match is A.C.H. versus Brody King. This is from Defy. It was, like, just released, I think, around the same time Super Strong Style came out. I didn't really hear much about this match, so I was just like, I'll watch it, because I haven't watched, like, a lot of Defy. So I checked it out because A.C.H. was involved and I knew it would probably be a really good match. What I really liked about this match, though, is that it had, like, a perfect balance of seriousness and, like, comedy. Like, it had, like, the perfect way of, like, introducing someone to A.C.H. I haven't really watched a lot of Brody King. The dude's huge and, like, covered in tattoos. He's kind of, like, one of those, like, I don't even know like the word to describe him. He's like the guy that
has a
like,
similar look to Aleister Black.
Yeah, he does, and he's not as technical though. He's more like a brute force.
Yeah, he's more of like the bruiser, like how Braun Strowman is.
Yeah. So he was super entertaining, and I liked all the spots in the matches. I would definitely recommend this match. It's just something that if you've never even watched A.C.H., it's a good starter match because you get a balance of everything with him. And like during this match, I actually forgot to take notes because I was just like so engulfed in how good it was.
Yeah.
and I just liked it a lot. So I highly recommend watching that one, and I can't wait to actually see a match where A.C.H is not injured and like forcing himself through matches, because he had like his ribs were taped up in this match, and I like this one spot where he was going to go do like something on the top rope. He was gonna do like a splash or something, and he literally just sat there and just like you saw on his face that he was like debating like, do I want to like risk injuring myself more? And
Yeah.
then he took too long to get up there, so Brody like moved out of the way. And then he ended up like getting Brody back into the ring. And then he was like, he got back up there. He was like debating on getting on the top rope again. And then he finally did it. And then he hurt himself, but he ended up winning the match. So.
Yeah, ACH's arm has been taped up pretty heavily for a long time, so hopefully he'll be 100% soon.
Yeah, his arm was taped up. His ribs were taped
Yeah,
up.
that too, I forgot.
His
He's
leg
real
was
banged
taped
up. ACH is holding his life together with that muscle tape.
He's gonna be that SpongeBob meme where the guy with like in a body cast every day I wake up.
Oh my god. We're sorry, ACH.
We love you.
We do. Please don't be in a body cast. Okay. So, my number 3 match was Hiramu vs. Despy from the Battle of the Super Juniors tournament. This is a feud that I have been wanting for months. I've talked about it on here before. So it's kind of like the first taste of them in a singles match. It's totally different than watching them in like the tag defense matches. And you could tell because both men were so serious and so angry this match. And like, for Despy, that's not a huge change. He's always an angry, rowdy little man. And I love him. He's like one of my very favorites in New Japan. I love Despy. But Hiramu is usually a lot more playful. Like, even in serious matches where you can tell he's taking it serious, he's like winking or like flirting with Marty Skrull or Will Ospreay. And like this match, there was none of that. Hiramu didn't even let them announce Despy's name or take his jacket off before he went to town trying to murder Despy. So it was really cool seeing like just pure passion and anger out of both of them directed at trying to murder each other. So it was everything I could have asked for in a Hiramu and Despy match. And honestly, it probably would have been number 1 if Super Strong Style hadn't happened, and if I didn't feel like this was like just a taste. Like there's more to these two. The emotion and like anger they fueled into this match. There's so much story left to be told for these two. Hopefully with one of them winning the title from Will Ospreay, because I'm ready. I know Will hasn't even been champion that long. But like every time I see him I'm like, alright, when are we gonna get here where Despy is champion? Like, I don't care about your title reign and I'm really sorry about that. But I don't know. Before the match even started, Hiramu dragged Despy into the crowd and like was just beating the shit out of him, throwing him into chairs, stuff like that. And then once they were up on the like actual stands, he hit Desperado and went all the way back to like where there was a door to leave and go into the main part of the arena and just charged him. And I always forget how fast Hiramu is, and I don't know why, but like he's like a little crazy freight train when he runs people down. And like if I was Despy, I would have probably died if I took that kick after running that hard. Like Hiramu is like an actual time bomb. His nickname fits him, and he's my favorite. And then, in another no shock to anyone, Despy, like, this match was about Despy. Hiram was my favorite. I just said that. Despy's another one. But this match was, like, start to finish, Despy showing how good he is, because he never gets a chance to shine, and it pisses me off. Even in their tag matches, it's always just, like, cheating, 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 which is cool. That's Suzuki-gun. And I literally have a note saying I love how crafty Despy is. But he really got a chance to, like, show his personality and character more. And I've seen people talking about how this is Despy's, like, breakout match. And, like, you're welcome. those of us have been saying that he's good enough for this for a long time, are happy that you're, like, seeing that now. Because Despy is definitely more than just a Suzuki-gun lackey. He's great in the ring, he's great at character work, and he knows how to look fucking terrifying. Like, Hiramu ripped his mask. Like, everyone has to have seen probably the photos by now, where he ripped his mask all the way back. So, like, there was his hair, like, coming forward, and then his, like, exposed eye, and somehow it was, like, simultaneously the most, like, beautiful thing I've ever seen, and just horrifying. Like, he looked like a straight-up horror, like, movie monster, because he just had that, like, super icy blue eye, like, staring out, and, like, stalking Hiramu around the ring. And it was such a cool, like, weirdly cinematic shot from it. And, I don't know, just, Despy's great. Even just at portraying how, like, angry he is without doing anything. So, another one of my favorite spots was Hiramu and Despy were by the top rope, and Hiramu wrapped his legs around Despy's throat, and then dropped back over the top rope and was choking him until the rope break, like, with his full body weight. I've never seen Hiramu do that. I just loved it. Like, I feel like we got, like, a whole new Hiramu in this match. And, like, Hiramu's always great, but, like, he turned it up to, like, 12, which Hiramu's already always at a 10, so he took it, like, those extra 2 steps, and just wanted to rip Despy's head off. So, I'm definitely here for this feud, and I would really like for them to get a lot more chances at each other, and really tell a story here, because there's clearly one. Like, it's not just anger that Despy and Kanemaru have kept the tag belts from them through cheating. Like, Hiramu and Despy have a blood feud, or are secretly in love with each other. It's one or the other, and I need more of it, either way. So, give me these 2 angry boys trying to kill each other over the junior tag title. Please. I asked nicely, Gato. Yes. So, that's that match for me. It was really great. Any other, like, normal week, that would have for sure been number 1, because I've been asking for Despy and Hiramu for a long time, but
Yeah.
It's literally only not number 1, because I feel like it's, like, a precursor match, and, like, I feel like there's still a lot of story to be told, so I put it at number 3.
Good job.
Thanks.
Alright, so my number 4 is Charlie Morgan versus Toni Storm for the Progress Women's Championship. So this is probably gonna give me a lot of heat, but I have a really hard time enjoying women's matches. And I think this is mainly because when I grew up watching wrestling, it was WWE, and the women weren't treated as wrestlers and as, like, strong people that could, like, take on anybody and just destroy inside the ring. Yeah. So I'm having my eyes open for the first time at, like, all these amazingly, like, talented women that are, like, full of empowerment, and, like, it's finally, like, I finally have someone that I can, like, look up to and be like, wow, they're awesome. So I don't know what it is about Progress, but, like, their women's division is on another level where, like, they could literally take on any guy, and, like, I would actually believe that they could, like, beat this guy up. Well, this match was a championship match, and I've heard of Toni Storm. I've seen, like, clips of her. She was really intriguing, so I was like, I'll check this match out. I've never heard of Charlie Morgan, but, like, as soon as she walked out, like, I felt like head over heels for her. Like, she is awesome. She did, like, a second rope moonsault in the beginning of the match, and it just blew my mind. And what I really liked was you had Jinny on commentary, who is part of the same, like, group as Charlie Morgan, and she basically was saying, like, if Charlie Morgan wins, she doesn't care, and she's gonna face her anyways for the title. And I like that there was like adding like a storyline to it with the commentary and with the match. So there's a lot of stake. But yeah, I really liked it. I was really surprised and I was blown away by these women because I'm just not used to seeing good women's matches. And I'm really glad that like finally gonna get that. And like it's not all like sexualized. It's actually like them being professional athletes and actually like kicking
Treated
ass.
equally on the roster.
Yes.
Which is something that Progress does really good. So, I have to watch that one. I haven't had a chance to watch. That's 69, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch Chapter 69 yet, so if I do, it'll probably have some matches on the next one, actually. Not if I do. I obviously will watch it, but the matches might come up on my next top 5, because I didn't get to watch it this time.
Right.
But sticking with the Progress love, we have some more Progress matches. Okay, so my next match was Chuck Mambo versus CSJ, which I did go on record on Twitter as saying is my match of the year. And even though it's in number 2, that's still maybe correct. It's still maybe my, like, match of the year. But we'll get into why the other one won. But this one, it was so good. Like, I watched this match 4 times because the first time I just wanted to enjoy it. And then the second and third time I was like, okay, I'm gonna take notes. And I didn't because I just enjoyed the match and, like, picking up all the little nuances in it. And then I finally took notes. So we got
that was
there.
my struggle with it. Like when I was first watching it, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! Sam's gonna love it," because I watched it before you. And then I had to go back and watch it again, and I was like, still forgot to write notes. And then I watched it again. And I'm like halfway through the match. I'm like, man, forgot to write notes again. So I'm like trying to write down notes really fast. But like, such an amazing match by both people.
It was so good. Like, Zack Sabre Jr. is my all-time favorite wrestler. Chuck Mambo is one of my, like, top wrestlers in, like, out of my top 10 overall. And Chuck Mambo brought, like, a completely new personality to this match. Like, if you've watched Chuck Mambo matches, they're, like, one of my happy places. Like, he's so happy and such a positive force. Like, it just puts you in a better mood watching him, because you can't possibly be, like, that sad watching Chuck Mambo. Like, it's just not possible. I don't buy it.
For sure.
But you could tell how much being in the Super Strong Style tournament meant to him, because he was serious as hell. Like, there was no playful Chuck Mambo calling out, like, goofy spots or, like, making funny comments. Like, he had his serious face on the whole time. He was really working hard to think of ways to outsmart Zack Sabre Jr., who is definitely the best technical wrestler in the world right now. And he had some really great spots where he definitely got one up on Zack Sabre Jr., which then stoked Zack Sabre Jr.'s anger, and you saw his vicious side come out, because at first he wasn't taking Chuck serious. And you could kind of tell he was just kind of circling, doing his whole, like, silent killer routine, where he's just circling them like a shark, like he wants to kill them. But after Chuck got a few arm drags on him and got him out of the ring and was diving on him, doing the Mambo number dive, like, Zack snapped. So, yeah. I mean, it was really interesting seeing Chuck flip like that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. It was like, and there was like the one spot where Chuck did the, like, what was it, surfboard? And then
that was my
like,
favorite
Zack
spot.
got out of it.
Yeah, like, that was the craziest. Literally, I have written down, let's see. Chuck got Zack up into the surfboard, and Zack countered out in one of the coolest bendy escapes I've ever seen. And, like, it really was. Like, how do you escape a surfboard? By, like, twisting your body into an actual pretzel, and then, like, just holding yourself in the air by sheer, like, core strength. Like, I don't think Chuck was even holding him anymore at that point, and he managed to get out and then reverse it on Chuck and, like, really tortured Chuck, and it was the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like, Zach is amazing. I'm 100%
Yeah, if anyone was
positive.
like, if Chuck was like, I'm pretty sure like Chuck was holding him by like one arm at one point, just like in the air.
Yeah.
Like all was holding him, and he like twisted out and just like, I think he went into like an arm bar with it. It was crazy.
Yeah, let's... No, all I wrote was that Zack Sabre Jr. can counter out of any goddamn move, and it's a fact and not an opinion. And I stand by that statement. But yeah,
Science.
that was such a cool spot. Like, that's everything I love about Zack Sabre Jr., like, wrapped up into one little spot that I could show someone and be like, look at this talented man. Like, he's the best.
Yeah.
I have people coming in my mentions on Twitter right now trying to talk shit. Don't do it.
Don't.
Yeah.
You are not a good fight.
It's true. You're just gonna make yourself sound stupid if you say that Zack Sabre Jr. has boring matches. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
It's not a theory, it's a fact.
He is the best technical wrestler in the world, and Jim Smallman says so it's a fact. Okay. Also, another note that I wrote, there's two. One is that the crowd, when Zach came out, you could tell, like, loves him. It was like a huge pop, they're singing his song, and as the match goes on, you kind of see the Progress crowd turn on Zach, because he brought out that, like, vicious, more sadistic side of him on Chuck Mambo, who is, like, one of the most over guys in Progress and just, like, adored by everyone. Because, again, if you don't like Chuck Mambo, you're probably a monster. And you don't like happiness. So, like, him being mean and disrespectful to Chuck really got the crowd against him.
Yeah.
And I've kind of heard rumblings from people who have watched Chapter 69, since I haven't yet, that they kind of mentioned that on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think this is going to be a really cool story, watching the crowd turn on Zach, who's, like, one of the originals of Progress.
Yeah.
And watching them turn on him and go from being, like, that cheered face to now they're going to be, like, booing him and disliking him like they do Travis Banks, so...
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's
excited to see that.
Interesting. I was very surprised at, like, how split the crowd became, and then at one point it was just, like, everyone was, like, against Zach, and that was really surprising, he said.
Yeah, and, like, they were still happy when he won. Like, you can tell the crowd still loves him because they still were, like, stoked and cheering for him. But there was definitely a point where when he was being disrespectful to Mambo, that there was, like, nothing but hey-ho Mambo chants to, like, bring him back. And it just made me so happy. Like, I love Chuck. I love Zack Sabre Jr. Super happy about what happened with Super Strong Style 16. I don't want to spoil anything. He had a really good tournament, though. And I don't know. Like, I would have been okay, though, if Chuck had won this match. So, I was really, really, really happy with this match. It was, like, Chuck's moment to shine and kind of prove to everyone saying he's not serious that he can definitely hold his own. And he did with one of the top wrestlers in the world right now. So, it was great. I loved watching a serious Chuck kind of proving to all the haters that he can do this. And then he went back to being his usual happy self the next night.
Yeah, I would actually, like, love to see more serious Chuck, but...
Yeah.
That match leads into my number 3 match, which is basically the people that did not qualify in the first night, which is TK Cooper versus Mambo versus Jordan Devlin. This match was absolutely amazing, and usually I'm just kind of bored with, like, multi-man matches just because, like, recently New Japan has been doing, like, a whole bunch of them. So it's really hard for me to enjoy them, but this match I was really surprised because I thoroughly enjoyed everything about it. I don't think I've ever seen so many pins on, like, 3 different guys in less than 2 minutes. I swear they probably, like, pinned each other, like, at least 3 times each.
Yeah.
And it was really good because each one was countered and wasn't, like, boring. It was, like, they countered them in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that this match, usually with 3 ways or whatever, you kind of get, like, the guy that's going to win gets a majority of, like, the cool spots and stuff. But this match, like, literally, it could have went either way because they had equal opportunities for each wrestler. They allowed each of them to shine and, like, have their own little spots and their own little moments. And I thought going into the match that Mambo was going to win just because he was kind of like the underdog compared to the two of them. And this is the first match I've ever seen of Jordan Devlin. And I think he just came back from injury or something like that, they said. I could be wrong. I hear things and they're not true. I don't know. But he was amazing. He did a satellite DDT onto Cooper. And then Mamba was going to do a springboard to, like, jump onto him and, like, drag a crossbody to take him out. But Devlin caught him midair and did, like, a cutter on him. And it just blew my mind because, like, as soon as he did the DDT, he jumped into Mambo, and I was like, how are you, like, this quick? Like, if I did that, I would, like, fall on my face and die.
Us both. I'm not athletic.
But yeah.
But yeah.
So I really enjoyed that whole match because I think it was a really good way of allowing them all to have their moment, even though they weren't gonna qualify for the winning the cup. But
yeah,
it was really nice.
Yeah, it was a good match. One of my favorite spots, though, still was the beach ball spot before the match.
Oh, yeah.
Like, someone tossed one of Chuck Mambo's beach balls towards the ring, and Jordan Devlin did, like, a crazy backflip kick and just launched it back into the crowd. And I was like, who the fuck is this man? Like, how do you do that? I don't know. It wasn't even, like, an actual move, but it blew my mind, so.
Yeah, he was just, like, standing there, like, going to take off his jacket and, like, just kick the ball.
Just out of nowhere. It was really fucking cool. But, also, this was the Shirtgate match.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is, like, not important, but, like, if you want,
I
like, yeah, if you want, like, fun, just, like, backstory, Chuck and TK Cooper bet each other that whoever didn't win their match would have to wear the other's shirt out. So TK Cooper would have to wear a bright-ass tie-dye shirt, and Chuck Mambo has to wear a black shirt, which is, like, his nightmare. And they both lost their matches, obviously. So they had to come out in each other's, their shirts after posting, like, funny videos of them having nightmares coming out in each other's shirts on Instagram. And it was hilarious just watching Chuck walk out with his black shirt and then, like, looking down and looking disgusted by it. And TK Cooper looking goofy as hell with his overalls with a tie-dye shirt over him. But it was really funny. Just cute little backstory.
Yeah.
I love those two. Go watch TK and Mambo escaping the mid-card on YouTube. That's my shout-out for them.
They're great.
They are. It's funny.
Support them dearly.
Yes. Go support their YouTube show. It's cute. Help them get out of the mid-card.
Facts. And that is our top 5 matches.
I still have mine.
Oh.
Then, don't you still have one too, or no?
No.
Okay. Well, I have Chris Brooks vs. Cassius Ohno, which is my number 1 match, which is the one that I swerved
Everyone
everyone.
grab your tissues.
You'll be okay. I'm not gonna make you cry. But the reason this match overtook Chuck and Zack Sabre Jr. was just because the story throughout the match was so strong that watching it back, even though I loved, like, the story of seeing Chuck transition from, like, goofy to more serious when he has to, like, this match was, like, right in the feels. Like, right off the bat, the commentary team is kind of putting over how Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero, is one of Chris Brooks' like, wrestling idols that he's always looked up to and wanted to be like. So, like, they're already setting up that emotional factor of, like, okay, he's main eventing Super Strong Style 16 Night 1 against his hero, which is, like, really cool. I love Chris Brooks. He's, like, one of my top 5 as well, along with Chuck Mambo, and one of my favorite wrestlers in Progress. So, like, I already was, like, emotional and really excited for him that he was even facing Cassius Ohno for that fact. And then, like, obviously, it's kind of like a David Goliath, like, situation. Like, Cassius Ohno is huge, and Chris is, like, a tall, skinny, lanky boy. And, like, so you have this mismatch where you're like, okay, Cassius Ohno's just gonna fucking wreck Chris Brooks and, like, beat the shit out of him because he's called the knockout artist for a reason. But Chris had, like, all of the opening spots. Like, he really locked him into that wrist lock and was, like, holding his own and showing Cassius Ohno that he wasn't gonna just kind of, like, roll over and take it just because that's his idol and because he's excited to be there. And that led to Ohno getting a little angry at, like, a certain point and kind of getting a bit more disrespectful, because at first it was, like, pure respect between the two, like, handshake, just, like, the wrist locks and kind of testing the waters. And then Ohno started kind of doing, like, the Zack Sabre Jr., like, petty kicks, as I call them, where you're just taunting someone and kind of trying to get them to, like, fight you. And so he was doing that, which then in turn brought out Chris's more, like, angry temper side, because he definitely has a temper. Like, it comes out in matches and he gets more vicious. And there was a spot, I can't remember if he went off the middle rope or the top rope. I forgot to write it down. But Cassius Ohno does, like, a vicious leg drop from either the middle or top rope, like, across the ring onto Chris Brooks. And I was like, fuck. Because, like, I thought for sure he was gonna, like, pin him, because it looked gnarly, like, it was nasty. But Chris kicks out and then starts, like, banging his head on the ground in frustration, and you, like, really start to see that shift there. That was, like, the shifting point for both, where they really, like, went all in and just beat the fuck out of each other for the rest of the match. And Chris fought so hard. Like, the whole match, he's obviously taking the brunt of, like, the torture, besides, like, a cool submission spot where he, like, reverses it here and there. And he took some of, like, the hardest looking elbows and punches and kicks, like, the whole match. Like, at a certain point, I was like, this is hurting me to watch this. Like, I don't want to watch Chris Brooks die. But he came back and, like, fought just as hard every single time. And there was one spot where Chris actually caught Cassius Ohno in a Michinoku driver and, like, slams him down just out of nowhere. And, like, after watching him take, like, a beating for the last, like, few minutes, like, that spot was so cool to just see him, like, quick snap and reverse something like that. And it just shows you how good Chris is. Like, he's kind of in the same vein as Zack Sabre Jr., where they like doing their submission holds, and they're kind of more of that, like, snap offense, where you can't really ever fully prepare for them. And I love that. I love watching a wrestler just out of nowhere counter something and, like, turn it around, and you're like, oh my god, he's gonna win. And then obviously Cassius Ohno kicked out. But I almost had a heart attack. I was like, holy shit, like, Chris Brooks is gonna win this match. And I was so excited, and then it didn't happen. But it did follow with a really cool sequence where they were, like, just reversing each other's moves back and forth, and neither could get a hold on anyone. And Ohno almost caught Brooks in a pin, and he kind of, like, wiggled out, like, in another, like, Zack Sabre Jr.-esque move, and escaped it and turned it into his own pin attempt. And I don't even know how to describe how he did it. He kind of, like, bends out, like, of Cassius Ohno and just, like, wiggles free. And it was just really cool. I love technical wrestling. Like, I could watch technical wrestling matches all day. I love just watching crafty reversals and shit. But you had another one. It's, like, the end of the match was Cassius Ohno just laying into Chris. Just, like, laying into him with so many hard elbows. Like, I was, like, watching and, like, cringing, and I was just like, holy shit, when is this gonna end? And then Chris Brooks powered Cassius Ohno into a brainbuster. Like, lifted him up and brainbustered him. And, like, how do people not like Chris Brooks? Like, I don't get it. Like, there's one of our friends doesn't really, like, see what people see in Chris Brooks, and, like, I love you, but I don't get it. Like, he's so good. He sells and, like, takes a beating so well. He can lift Cassius Ohno and brainbuster him, Like, he's the whole package. He does crazy shit. There was a weird spot where he did, like, a modified octopus stretch, where he, like, slid down Cassius Ohno's back and was, like, latched onto him. And I've, like, never seen that in an octopus stretch. And I was just like, this man is definitely gonna be, like, on Zack Sabre Jr.'s heels in a few years, because he's still a little not super new. It's not like Flip Gordon new. But, like, Zack has definitely been in the business a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I feel like Chris is gonna come for that submission master status. So, look out, Zack. My two favorites. I want to see them in a, like, reset match, just testing each other.
I don't think you would survive.
I might not. But I would go out happy, and that's what matters.
That's all that matters.
It's true. But yeah, the match ends with Cassius Ohno giving him, like, a hard, exposed elbow to the back of the head that he can't kick out of. And I was, like, gutted. Like, I was so sad. I know Cassius Ohno's amazing, and, like, he was back in progress from obviously being in NXT, which is a big deal. It was really cool. But I really wanted to see Chris kind of, like, beat his idol and, like, get to go on. But it was worth it for the promo afterwards. Chris is kind of crawling to the back because he was half dead from getting his ass kicked by Cassius Ohno. And Ohno makes him come back and sit in, like, a front row seat as he delivers, like, this super emotional promo about how he's seen, like, some of the best wrestlers in the world and fought them and fought some of, like, the toughest wrestlers you could find. But that the kick Chris gave him towards the end of the match was the hardest he's ever been hit in his life. And, like, for someone to, like, your idol to say that about you is obviously, like, awesome. And you could, like, see on Chris's face, like, how much it meant to him. And I was, like, super emotional about it because I am a nerd and I love wrestling, if you cannot tell. But then he put over how Chris has been, like, a huge fan since he was, like, 14, and he used to hit Cassius Ohno up on AOL Instant Messenger, offering to make, like, free t-shirts and stuff, and do whatever he could to be part of the business. And, like, now he's near, like, the top of Progress, and is, like, one of the most loved wrestlers in the UK. And it was just so cool. Like, that promo was probably, like, my favorite part of Progress, Super Strong Style 16. Like, it was just such a good, like, nod from one to another, and had humor mixed in with Cassius Ohno giving the Progress crowd shit for finding a new favorite Chris when he's gone for a few years. And, I don't know, it was just great. Like, it wrapped up everything I love about Super Strong Style. Like, this is my first time watching it. We're fairly newer into Progress, but we definitely dove in head first, and now we are both very in love with it. It's, like, our favorite promotion now. So, it was a great show, but that match became number one solely because I was so emotionally invested in the match. And, like, when I took notes, this was my second time watching it. And, like, it was one of those ones where you're like, I know who wins this, but, like, maybe if I hope hard enough, like, the results will change. And I can just alter history somehow. Like, no big deal.
Right.
But, like, it was that good that when I was watching it, I still was having, like, those moments where I, like, felt my heart drop, and I was like, he almost had him, like, knowing that Ohno wins. So, like, if a match can do that, that's really strong storytelling. Like, that's some top-notch in-ring telling, followed by a good promo, so it had to take the number one spot, because no other match, as much as I loved them, got me that invested, so Ohno and Brooks were amazing. Definitely go watch that match.
For sure.
So, that's our top 5. Now that I've gotten emotional about Chris Brooks and Cassius Ohno, you're welcome. I'm embarrassing.
It's all good. I'm sure I'm gonna be that way soon with some matches.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Just wait till September, like.
Yeah. That match really sucked me in, though. Like, it sucked me in more the second time, almost.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first time I was, like, half asleep because it was, like, 4 in the morning. I was like, I need to watch day 1. And now, like, this time I was just like, I love wrestling so much. Like, matches like that remind you why you love wrestling. That and the Chuck Mambo ZSJ one, like, so good. So, thank you to Progress for putting on such good shows.
For sure. We're like head over heels. Like,
We are.
it's bad.
We are. We're fighting some of our best friends in Progress's honor.
Yep.
What's up, Magnet? This is another shout out to you. 2 weeks in a row.
We're coming at you.
Watch more Progress. We said it officially now, so now you have to do it.
Yep. It's gonna live in history now, and if you don't do it, people are gonna come at you, and we're gonna come at you.
It's true. Now the whole world knows. All, like, 50 people that probably watch this podcast or less. But now, no more inside jokes for you guys. We apologize. We think we're funny. We're probably not to most people. But we like ourselves. So, let's talk a little bit about New Japan. Back to that, because that's our other favorite promotion.
Yep.
So, Dominion is coming up, so me and Kyla decided to do our picks for the matches that are already announced, which are the big matches anyways.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about Battle of Super Junior and who we think the winners could possibly be and who, like, the dark horse pick is, because I know my dark horse pick, but we'll see. So, let's let you start, Kyla. What do you think is going to happen with Okada and Omega? Let's just get right into it.
I'm wearing my Kenny Omega jacket. So, my theory with Okada versus Omega is kind of the same as, like, if Tanahashi was to win the title. I really fully believe that the next champion is just going to be a transitional champion. I don't think they're going to hold the title very long. I really think they're going to hold it, and it's going to be passed on to Naito.
I'm okay with that.
I think Naito deserves the championship. It's just because I feel like that's how it's going to be. So,
I agree.
If Omega does win, I will be surprised. I'll be happy. I'll probably cry because he is like one of the wrestlers that got me into like New Japan and indie wrestling. And if I didn't find him or the Bucks, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to Sam today. So I owe him a lot.
Yeah.
So I really think he's gonna. If he does win, I think he's gonna be transitional. My other fear is that we still never got a apology from Omega to Ibushi about costing Ibushi the title against AJ Styles. So I feel like there might be a way that Ibushi's gonna come in and kind of maybe ruin Omega's chance at winning the title. Or if Omega does win, then Ibushi's going to challenge him for the title as revenge.
See, that's more what I get. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah, I don't want Golden Lovers to split up because I love them with all my heart. And I love them from DDT all the way up until now. So, I don't know. I don't want them to split up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen because we haven't had that moment where they're like, Omega's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we haven't had it on camera anyways, so.
Yeah.
And Ibushi definitely does not feel welcome in Bullet Club because there was a clip at one of the recent shows where they were all in the ring giving like 2 sweets and 1 sweet in the ring, and it showed Ibushi like walking to the back, and they didn't even invite him like to be a part of it, so he was just kind of like left outside. It was sad.
Yeah. So I agree. I work myself into a shoot every Okada match, and I'm like so sure that this is the one. I'm a mark as fuck about New Japan, like, let's just admit it. But
yeah.
I think Omega's gonna win. Like, my gut tells me that. And I think Naito gets it from Omega or Ibushi, depending on if that happens.
Yeah.
And maybe Ibushi wins it. I don't see them flip-flopping the belt necessarily that much, but he's gonna win it from someone, and I think that Okada is going to have to win the G1. I think we're going to see roles reverse going into Wrestle Kingdom 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that's the case and that Omega wins, even if he only holds it till whatever show he ends up dropping it to Naito. It's got to happen, I would think, before the G1.
Yeah.
So I hope that happens. Obviously, I love Omega, but I'll take him as a transitional champion if it gets me my Naito story. So, like, Naito is where I'm, like, most invested, is definitely LIJ when it comes to New Japan. So I need Naito walking into Wrestle Kingdom 13 champion and leaving it champion.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be the best storyline they could go for, is having the next champion be transitional, give the title to Naito, and then Naito have to face Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 13 because he's the one person that he basically hasn't been able to beat, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's beat him, but, like, in a championship match. So.
Where it counts, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see this year.
Be good, like, wrap-up storyline for that.
We need to see Naito come in with that belt that he's fought for and leave with it, like in the roles reversed of last Wrestle Kingdom where he was leaving without it and Okada was on the mic. Like, I need that in my life. It's gotta happen. Which brings us to...
And it sucks that it has to be at the expense of Omega. But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, but, like, I feel like if that happens, that's where something with Kota is gonna come into effect, and that's where you're gonna get Kota Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13. So that's what I think.
So that could be how it goes. Kota doesn't interact during the Okada match, so Omega wins. So then when it becomes the Naito match, something between that time period changes Ibushi to cost Omega the title against Naito.
Yeah, and I think we'll get a special, like, singles match of Kenny versus Kota at Wrestle
Kingdom 13, which is where the only place they agreed to fight each other, because they won't fight each other anywhere else. They only fight each other. Exactly. They know they're going to murder each other, so...
So that's my theory. That's what I think is going to happen.
I like it. I'm calling it now.
You heard it here first. Power Bob-Omb Girls are booking New Japan Pro Wrestling. Strap in. We have a very large game plan for Chuck and Trent one day. Maybe we'll share with you.
I cannot wait to share our huge game plan that's going to change the world of wrestling as you know it.
It is. We aren't even kidding about that. So, for match 2, Naito vs. Jericho, what do you think?
See, we're going the route where we're going to stick to the storyline so far. Would Naito have to drop the title to Jericho for him to eventually... Because is he going to get another chance to drop it?
I think so. Even if you just have him vacate it.
Yeah, he doesn't want the title anymore.
He doesn't even carry it. Yeah. I don't think Jericho's going to win. Because, A, it would put a huge stop to momentum again for Naito, who's already been kind of floundering, like, and not having much to go with.
Yeah.
Since getting, like, decimated by Zack Sabre Jr. in the New Japan Cup and stuff. Like, he needs to get built back up. And one match with Suzuki was not it. Like, they need to build him back up through this crazy match with Jericho. I think that's going to be the closest thing you get to how his match with Tanahashi elevated him and put him in that title contention. I think that's what this is going to be. I think Naito's going to win. And I think either after or down the line, he leaves the belt in the ring and vacates it, saying the only title he's going to go after is the heavyweight belt. And I think that's where we'll see these things come into play. So that's my theory.
He doesn't even think that the title should be even in Japan at this point. He's like, it's useless.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even carry it to the ring, so.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see...
Have it. They probably don't even know where it's at.
It's in a dumpster somewhere, probably.
Probably.
And then... Okay, so this next one I have it split. So it's Evil and Sonata versus the Bucks for the titles. And so, my heart says Evil and Sonata leave champions, which will probably make Bullet Club people mad. Because I love the Young Bucks, don't get me wrong, but, like, L.I.J. is my favorite, and I don't care. But my gut says Young Bucks are winning those heavyweight belts, because they're making such a big deal about them going up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
And, like, having new competition. I think they're putting the titles back on the Bucks, which makes me a little sad.
It's one of those matches where, like, I'm okay either way it goes. Like, I'll be happy because I love both of them.
Yeah.
I don't really know who I want to win. I mean, I'd be happy either way.
Yeah.
It just, because it's like two of your favorite teams.
See, we just got Evil back, and I'm not ready yet for him to not be a champion.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's, like, where I am. Plus, like, the Young Bucks are busy with ROH and All In and everything. I don't know. Like, I would like to see them as heavyweight champs. I love the Young Bucks, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But, like, I almost always go with L.I.J. in my heart, so.
Yeah. I feel like the Bucks might win it, and then this could, like, be kind of a way of them proving, like, we were right against, like, Golden Lovers about how they're, like, the best tag team. They beat them to the championships.
Maybe. I don't know, though, because they're trying to get back on his good side. So yeah. I don't think they would do that.
That's true.
They know they fucked up.
Matt knows he did.
Well.
I think Nick's pretty innocent in this.
Matt, what did you do? You fucked up. Okay, so the next one is a match. And it is Goto versus Taichi versus He Who Will Not Be Named.
I think if Goto doesn't win, I think Taichi's gonna win.
That's who I want to win.
Yeah.
That's gonna get me heat. And, like, it shouldn't, but people hate Taichi. And, like, I'm Suzuki-gun trash, so, like, put the belt on my trash son.
I agree. I think...
take that back. I don't want Taichi as my son. I was just being funny. But, like, put the title on that trash human.
Yeah, I think... him. But yeah, see, you got Goto, and then you got trash human, and then you got actual trash human. So I'd rather go on trash human.
Perfectly put. Perfectly put.
By the way, I use air quotations to people that are listening to...
Yeah. The second trash human had air quotes. But yeah. I want to see Taichi's extra ass with that belt, like, coming in, singing his theme song. Well, yeah, lip-syncing.
I'm sorry, I meant actually singing.
He's definitely singing, Kyla. Give him the credit where he deserves.
I loved his wireless microphone.
He's a double threat. He can sing and wrestle. Now he's a heavyweight, so look out.
Look at World. He's like the new Hannah Montana.
You heard it here first. Taichi is Hannah Montana.
He's got the best of both worlds. He's a wrestler and a singer.
It's true. So hopefully he wins. I don't mind Goto. I just don't think the belt is doing much on him. He's a really solid mid-carder. He has great matches, but I think on someone like Taichi, you just constantly see Suzuki-gun members elevate belts, in my opinion, because they're able to be so awful as human beings that, like, it's great. Like, picture his already irritating, like, rude ass coming out, wearing that goddamn belt, and obnoxiously singing his song with Abe Miho, who's beautiful.
Yeah.
Besides him, like, it's perfect. So, yeah. Go Taichi. Make Suzuki-gun proud.
The first time ever cheering for Taichi.
True! It's probably true. Actually. Like in a singles match, because I wasn't going to cheer for him over Naito, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm just not even going to comment on the other person's match. They don't exist.
Yeah, I mean...
Just the Invisible Man.
You should probably know our thoughts on that anyways. Like, we aren't like quiet about it on social media. I don't want to get into it. It is what it is. But, yeah, we just don't really care for him here. So, let's go Taichi.
Yay.
Go Suzuki-gun.
That would make a lot of our friends happy that we're cheering for Taichi.
Yeah, we actually have some friends that are, like, genuinely love Taichi. Like, genuinely love him. They're out there, people. Taichi fans are there, and they are proud. They aren't hiding it. Don't judge them. I won't put names, because some people will. So yeah, then we also are going to have Rey Mysterio there. So me and Kyla are both pretty sure that it's going to be Liger. That was the original person. So I don't think Will Ospreay is winning Battle of Super Juniors. And I hope that is not what happens. No offense to Will.
I don't see Ospreay winning Battle of Super Juniors. And I feel like it's gotta be Liger just because we didn't get it at the Strong Style Evolved.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be like them doing it. But then again, if they were gonna do that in the first place, you think they would already like, oh, we're getting Mysterio versus Liger instead of just having it just like TBA. We don't know who's facing, so it's kind of here.
I guess technically, if you want to go like real wild card, could be Marty.
Yeah.
Because Marty...
Like if Marty wins Battle of Super Junior, you think it would call out Mysterio?
No, because like whoever wins Battle of Super Juniors has to face Will Ospreay for the title. Like,
yeah.
Whoever wins that is gonna face him at Dominion, which is why I don't think Will is gonna win it. I don't think Will vs. Mysterio is a good junior title match for Dominion. And like, I feel like if you have Ospreay win Battle of Super Juniors, in my opinion, it kind of shits on the division a little bit. Not because Will is bad, but because if you're gonna do that and then choose someone who's not in the division to face for the title, and someone who didn't even participate in Battle of Super Juniors, I don't know, that to me is like disrespectful to the guys who worked really hard for this whole tournament and are like giving it their all. Like, if Ospreay wins, it should be someone from the tournament, not Rey Mysterio. So that's why my gut says Liger, since that was the original one. But maybe, since like you're saying, Marty did try to rip off Mysterio's mask at Strong Style Evolved, which is like the ultimate no-no. So like, maybe they're gonna do something about that, and Mysterio's gonna come. Ooh, maybe Mysterio will come at the end of Battle of Super Juniors, like one of the nights, and call out Marty.
Maybe.
I choose that as my answer. Because if it happens, then I'll look really cool, like I actually know something.
My life.
And I'll be like, ooh, episode 3, what did Sam say? Just like with episode 2, where I went on my crazy Bushi tangent about how you should all love him and give him more respect. And now Naito is out here doing the work for me.
Yep, and just like my episode 1 and 2, where I said that we're getting Juice versus Jay.
Yep.
We're getting it eventually, which I was like really disappointed that they haven't announced that for Dominion, because I really thought it would happen then. Yeah. So I don't know what they're saving it for.
I don't know either, actually.
Maybe Juice goes through with the G1 and wins the G1?
I don't think he would call out Jay.
I don't think so either.
If you win the G1, you're going after the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, you heard it here first. Rey Mysterio Jr. is going to call out Marty's girl one of the Battle of Super Juniors nights. And also, winner predictions. So, my top 3 winner predictions for the Battle of Super Juniors. Hiramu, which should surprise no one. Like, Hiramu is my pick. He's my number 1. I want him to win. Then I'll have the Despy feud. 2 is going to be the obvious choice, which is Ichimori. Like, they made a huge deal about Bone Soldier coming back, and he's been doing amazing. He's such a good wrestler. But I think, in my gut, it's too obvious. So I think we might have it come down to Ishimori and Hiramu. And Hiramu maybe gives him his first loss in the finals. That's what that's what my heart wants, so, like, it's biased. But
Right.
my dark horse pick is Desperado. And not just because I love him, but because, like, this tournament has been, like, his, like, coming out, like, look at me, I'm fucking amazing party, so. And Kevin Kelly makes a comment about how Desperado's his dark horse pick every time he's in a match, which, like, to me, could either be a red herring where they're like, oh, look at Despy,
Yeah.
he could win this, and then they're not gonna do it, or it's like, hey, morons, like, I've been telling you the whole time who's gonna win. So it'll be one or the other, maybe. Or it'll be something completely different, and I'll look stupid.
Right. Well.
Yeah. But who do you think?
So my picks are Hiromu, obviously. Marty. I really want Marty to get a spotlight. And then I really would love to see A.C.H win. Like,
I would love that.
love to see that.
That would be, like, my dark horse pick. Like, super far out guess. And, like,
Yeah.
something that my heart
That's probably
would
my
explode for.
Like, I'd really like to see A.C.H win.
Yeah. I would definitely cry like a little bitch because I love A.C.H. And I'd be so happy and proud of him. Like, watching him come out, by the way, I forgot to mention this, like, watching A.C.H come out that first night with the AEW heavyweight title on, like,
Made me so happy.
I'm such AEW trash. Like, I love them. They're, like, my happy place every month. Like, every time I go there, I'm like, alright, this is the best day of the month. Like, they never disappoint, and, like, part of it is just how good all the wrestlers are, the guys and girls, and it's such a good environment. But, yeah, I was an emotional mess. I was like, there's my AEW champion. Like, I love him, and I'm so excited to see him in, like, arguably my favorite promotion, along with Progress. So, I have to say that, like, real extra now every time, because it's Progress, not Progress, like my Chicago ass likes to say.
I was saying Progress, but I was corrected during chapter 69.
Yes, Smallman put us in our place from afar, and from a past recording.
Right.
But, yeah, so, let's talk a little bit about Progress. So me and Kyla just started it recently, because we are too poor. Like, well, she's a college student. I just finished cosmetology school, so, like, we're getting there. And we're like, do we really need a third or fourth wrestling subscription in some cases? Yeah. And I was like, no, like, I can't do this. And then everyone was freaking out about Super Strong Style 16. It's not hard. Yeah, it's not hard to sucker me in. Like, I wanted to watch it anyways for a long time because of Zack Sabre Jr. and, like, stuff I've seen from them of him. And then with Riptide, we were like, holy shit, I love Chuck Mambo and Chris Brooks and Cooper and everyone. And we're like, fuck it, we just need to get Progress, I guess, and we got it. And it was love at first sight. And now we're, like, total Progress trash, so, like...
It's, like, really bad. Like, we're, like, defending their honor every day. We honestly talk about Progress probably all day long.
It's true. We need help. Like, when I'm at work, I'm just like, I just want to go home and watch more old Progress chapters, because, like, we originally started from number 1, and we were going to watch it, like, all the way through. We still plan on doing that and going back.
Yeah, we're on episode 4, I think. Or chapter 4.
Yeah, we're on chapter 4. But we want to get caught up to, like, the current storylines so we can still watch it as they come out now and get it. So we're actually going to start at 50 now, which was only slightly influenced by who shows up at the end of chapter 48. You can tell who chose where we would start from. It was me. But we're going to watch it from 50 and get caught up, and then we're going to go back to chapter 4. So we will eventually watch all of Progress. So,
It's
yeah.
our
From now on, you may have some older matches in our top 5 from old Progress chapters or, like, old shows we watched too. It won't always be just things that came out the last 2 weeks. It's just going to be the top 5 matches that we have seen. Because I think it's just as important to, like, bring attention to older matches too that maybe you haven't seen yet. So,
And when we do mention those matches, we'll let you know like which chapter it's from, so you're not like thinking that it's a recent match when it's an older match.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, definitely check out Progress. One of our favorite things about them are literally that they are about inclusivity and supporting everyone. It doesn't matter what you identify as or who you are. Like, Progress is the promotion for you. They don't judge people, and they're just genuinely awesome, and they really put everyone on an equal playing field, which is something that Kyla touched on earlier with their women's division. Like, their women's division is probably one of the best ones you can get, besides a company like Stardom that's all female, as far as, like, not distinguishing them from the guys and having all kinds of great intergender matches, as well as just enforcing the fact that female wrestlers are just as good as male wrestlers, which is really cool. You have Jack Sexsmith showing off his pansexual pride. We love him. Like, Progress is refreshing. Like, if you feel like sometimes wrestling can be kind of toxic, which it can be, just go watch Progress and be happy, and, like, support companies like Progress and Riptide that are about showcasing everyone and just bringing, like, happiness and actual love into the wrestling scene again.
Yeah, and it's made by like actual wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Like it's like the perfect thing that you would want. Like if you dream of a promotion, it's the exact promotion that you would want. You want equality. You want everyone to be like a family there. They're so welcoming to new people. Before every show, they like have people stand up and like in the crowd and like introduce themselves if they've never been, and like they ask them like why you haven't been here yet. So it's really nice, and it's all like just good fun. Like they're not there to...
It is fun. Like, Progress is a fun promotion. They can get really serious and have these fucking awesome, like, really deep storylines. And then you have Jim Smallman making you laugh between matches, and, like, they have probably the best commentary out of any promotion I can think of. Like, New Japan's pretty great, but, like, you can feel how much the Progress commentary, like, loves the matches and loves what they do, and they get so into it. And, like, I showed my best friend Kate chapter 50, like, this week, because we're actually going to be going to Progress in Chicago in August. I'm super excited. Like, I'm so excited. I just wish Kyla could come also. Like, that's the one downside. But I wanted her to kind of, like, watch it because she loves wrestling, but she doesn't have as much time to watch, like, 40 hours of wrestling a week like me and Kyla try to get done some weeks. But, yeah, even her, she was like, the guy screaming on commentary is so adorable, and, like, I just love him. And I was like, I know, like, me too. Like, people watching for their first time can feel, like, that the vibe is different from Progress, and, like, it's just, it's great. We love it. It's the best.
Yeah, and they're, like, their fans are generally, like, a family, like, I've had so many people, like, I'd be like, what matches should I check out? And they literally like a list of just matches, and like then they talk to me forever about progress, and I'm just like, I just feel so welcome.
It's a good community.
Like, it's great.
Yeah, Progress is a good community, and like the fans are funny as fuck. Like, the crowds are always good. Like,
the crowds are my favorite.
I love Progress and Riptide crowds. Those are probably like my two favorite crowds, like, ever. And like, I'm in the AEW crowd, and like, the Progress and Riptide crowd is better. Like, they have whole songs for wrestlers that they bust out, and like, not just your typical like ones that you hear. Like, they have songs for some of the wrestlers, and like, they say funny, like, witty shit that the wrestlers kind of like take and like give back, and it's just so fun. Like,
I mean, example of that in like episode, or no, in like chapter 2, I think it was. Was that Jimmy's first time?
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, like it was. He had a spoon because he was like a deathmatch wrestler and he like got invited to Progress. So he had the spoon on him, and then they like started calling him like he liked to spoon and stuff. So he actually like spooned his first opponent
Yeah.
because like spoons, and that became a thing. Like the next chapter, he had a death match, and a guy brought a giant spoon to give Jimmy to like beat his opponent with.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So they get
It's
involved
cool.
with that.
It really is. Even just like, okay, so at the beginning of Progress, they didn't have a belt. They have this horrifying looking staff with like their logo on the end. And like part of me misses it just because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, I love that fucking staff. Someone in the audience called it the Nazi staff. And so like, the guy who won it, I can't even remember his name. I'm horrible. I just know they call him shit Zack Ryder, and I'm really sorry, but like that's stuck in my brain now because of it. But like they chant Nazi staff at him every time they come out, and he has to like defend it and say it's not a Nazi staff. Like it's just little stupid shit like that, like that endears you to it, and like we just love it. We'll stop talking about it now because we're gonna become like a Progress episode in a second, but yeah, like watch it. So now we're going to get into our bookings because we still have our contest for unknown stakes for who can dream book an opponent. So, and then Kyla has to do her drawing. But we don't know who yet. I think. Well, no, because then they won't notice it for sure. I was going to say you should draw Tai Chi as Hannah Montana. But like, the goal is to have them see it, and he won't really understand English, and I'll feel bad that we're just like harassing him with a picture of him as Hannah Montana, and he wouldn't understand why. Like, I can't do that to him.
Right.
So let's see. Let's have
Am I starting first, or are you starting first?
You go first.
You went first. Wait, no, I went first last time?
I think you went first. No, I think I went first
went
last time because you drew. So you do yours, and I'll think of someone for you to draw. I'll get it.
So I was given Matt Riddle, and this warms my heart because I love Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle is a former UFC fighter, so we know he's like one of the best technical wrestlers. I mean, him and like Zack Sabre Jr. like, yeah. Yeah,
I love you, Matt Riddle, but I'm nothing if not Zack Sabre Jr. trash.
So it would be pretty dumb to put him anywhere besides New Japan, and like if you're gonna put him in New Japan, you have to put him in Suzuki-gun, obviously. It's actually like a legit dream of mine to have Matt Riddle in Suzuki-gun. Like, even just in New Japan, I'd be happy, but, like, for him to be in Suzuki-gun, that'll, like, make my dreams come true. Even if it's not his dreams, it's my dreams.
I second that.
And it's mainly because I just want to hear him say Bro Suzuki-san to
Brozuki?
Brozuki.
Yeah, we want Brozuki as a tag team ever since Bloodsport.
It's agreed. So as for my booking for Matt in New Japan, he would join Suzuki-gun and start off as learning how New Japan works with teaming up with Zack Sabre Jr. from time to time as well as Suzuki. He really wouldn't be placed in any big storylines right away, but the crowd would love him nearly instantly just because he's Matt Riddle and he can pretty much get over anywhere.
It's true.
Suzuki would take a chance on Matt and push him and Zack Sabre Jr. to become a tag team and go for the heavyweight tag titles. They would enter in the tag league and completely dominate the competition all by submissions and be crowned winners of the tag league.
Okay.
After which they would go on to win the heavyweight tag titles at Wrestle Kingdom. They would defend them all the way up until Genesis, where they will lose the titles, and at the end of the night, after Okada retained for the 100th millionth time, he would call out for anyone to challenge him, and then outstruts Matt Riddle, and he's all like, Bro, Okada-san, I accept. say goodbye to that title. I don't know. He would say something cool like that. I don't know.
I love you. Brokata.
And like that, the title match will be set at Dontaku. The match will end in a 60-minute draw, so no one would win. And Okada's not done with Riddle there, so the rematch is set for Dominion. This match will be everyone's match of the year. It will make people wonder how it could ever stop.
You heard it here first. You better have this match as your goddamn match of the year.
Riddle ends up winning the title at the surprise of everyone. After the G1 climax, Naito wins and looks to challenge Riddle for the title at the King of Pro Wrestling. Then Naito ends up defeating Riddle to become the champion. While in the ring, Riddle is lost and confused, and that's when Zack Sabre Jr. comes out to help his stablemate back. And during their promo, they announced they will not stop at anything until Suzuki-gun holds the title again. So basically leading towards possibly Zack Sabre Jr. having the title.
Hey, I like that. I like the whole thing, but like, you put that in specifically to win me over. I feel it.
I know how to win your heart.
You do. It's very easy. Just put Zack Sabre Jr. and title in the same sentence, like, in a positive connotation.
Yeah.
I felt you fucking sassy fucks out there, like, oh, just wait. So, okay. I'm not gonna... Who are we gonna draw? I didn't think of it now because I loved what you were talking about so much. Okay, let's see. You are going to draw... Draw A.C.H.
Draw A.C.H? Okay.
Doing something. It's your creativity that we need. So I'm not going to say who she gave me right off the bat because my booking, it's better if it's a surprise. So, World Tag League 2018 is rolling around, which we both used. It's always the tournaments that bring people in. But anyways, so they announced Jeff Cobb is going to be a part of Tag League, but they don't announce who his partner is going to be just yet. And so, when the press conference rolls around where they're having all the teams, like, kind of say whatever they're going to say and announcing who's going to be in it, Jeff Cobb steps up to the podium without a partner, and that's when Do You Want to Touch Me hits, blasts in the press conference, and out walks David Starr to announce that wrestling, which is one of my favorite, like, tag teams and stables in AAW, is now in New Japan, and they're going to win the Tag League because Jeff Cobb and David Starr are two of the best in the world, and they're going to prove to everyone why. And Jeff Cobb dramatically announces all of David Starr's nicknames as he twirls his way to the podium to announce this. And then in the tournament, they have a strong run where they make it to them versus Gorillas of Destiny in the finals. But G.O.D. wins because we can't have them dominating too early. We need to just have them look strong. And so G.O.D. wins, and they are going to face Evil and Sonata, who are still tag champs at this point in my booking. And even in defeat, Starr and Cobb make huge names for themselves and become two pretty popular semi-regular wrestlers in the Taguchi Japan stable. And they're like the muscle now for Taguchi Japan. So, like, especially Jeff Cobb, obviously. He's huge. So they're going to be like the powerhouse heavyweight team for Taguchi Japan. And they show up for all the big shows, always have really strong showings, and eventually David Starr gets chosen to be part of the G1, as does Jeff Cobb, and in the tournament, they're forced to face each other, and when Jeff Cobb goes to offer the friendly handshake to show that they're still going to be a team after this, David Starr turns heel and takes the opportunity to turn on Jeff Cobb, and he beats Jeff Cobb in the G1 and goes on to the semifinals with the second most points, where he will lose, but then he officially leaves Taguchi Japan and goes on kind of like a streak where he's by himself, just being an asshole. David Starr can play a really good asshole, by the way, if you've only seen, like, respectful David Starr, like you kind of saw at Spring Break. He's a really good dickhead. So, he's going around being mean, and he's taken in by Suzuki-gun, who decide that they could add him to their team because he's such an asshole to everyone all the time, and they think he would fit in. And so, when he's in Suzuki-gun, he ends up clashing again with his stablemates, and he faces Zack Sabre Jr. for the U.S. title, because Zack Sabre Jr. has won the U.S. title by this point. Sorry, Jay White. And David Starr loses again, and in that anger, he turns on Suzuki-gun as well, and starts beating Zack Sabre Jr. up with, like, chairs and shit after the match, because he's pissed he lost. And so, Suzuki-gun comes out, it all blows up in a huge feud, and Starr is left on his own as, like, a lone wolf character that no one can trust, and when he's put in tag matches with people, it's kind of him versus the world, and he refuses to work with them, and is kind of just gonna have that negative personality to bring some flavor to New Japan and get some real heel heat again. And eventually, Killer Elite Squad comes out, and they end up taunting Jeff Cobb and David Starr, and calling them both, like, shitty wrestlers. I don't know, I didn't think this all the way through. They say rude shit, like Killer Elite Squad does. Davey Boy Smith Jr. doesn't talk for this promo. It's all Lance Archer. That's all you need to know. That's how you're gonna get a good promo. So, they are forced to work together again, and it brings Jeff Cobb and David Starr back together again. And let's see. I got lost because I wasn't actually reading this, and I'm just saying it from memory. Okay, so, before that happens, this is important. Cobb wins the Never title at Wrestle Kingdom 2020, and Starr challenges his former friend for the title and wins, which reignites their feud. This is important. And during their feud is when Killer Elite Squad comes out, and Lance Archer cuts a promo about when they used to be good, which was when they were working together, and now how separately they're both pathetic losers, and that's why they couldn't, David Starr couldn't cut it in Suzuki-gun. So they're forced to team together again, and work together to fight Killer Elite Squad. And through that, wrestling reunites, and they win the tag team titles together again, and go on a run with the heavyweight tag titles, and David Starr turns back to being a face because Killer Elite Squad forced him to work with Jeff Cobb. Kind of a Golden Lovers-ish feel there. I don't know. I got lost reading this. I'm definitely gonna lose this one. But yeah, all you need to know. Heel David Starr comes to New Japan, turns on Jeff Cobb, and eventually they get back together and win the tag team titles like they never could when they were originally.
Draw this thing I'm trying to draw. I'm just gonna, like, draw an arrow to it and explain what it is.
Okay.
It does not look like it should.
And for those of you who are just listening right now, we always do our drawing segment where we post the photo on Twitter and tag the wrestler that Kyla draws in her beautiful artwork and ask them to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. So, we always have some kind of interaction. So you'll see the photo on Twitter, or you can just check out that part on YouTube to see Kyla's beautiful A.C.H. drawing that she's going to show us soon. And
do you think he's a cape guy? I think he likes capes.
No.
He doesn't like capes, okay.
I don't think so. If you could draw him in, like, a Dragon Ball Z outfit, you would like that. But I don't think he's a cape guy. That should be what you tweet him. Hey, A.C.H., are you a cape guy? Please rate our drawing on a scale of 1 to 10.
Because I want to know if he's a cape guy. My first drawing he had a cape. It was red.
Oh. I mean, he is super A.C.H. So we'll find out. You guys are going to find out whether A.C.H is a cape guy, hopefully. But yeah, make sure you go on Twitter. We will have a poll up where you can vote for who has the better New Japan booking this time. Sorry that I got lost reading mine and butchered it. Okay.
Alright, so I have finished the drawing that I will be sending to A.C.H. Are you ready?
We're ready. I love it.
It's very simple.
I love
It's
it.
what I hope will happen. I don't know what the trophy looks like.
I like
It probably
it. It's
doesn't
okay.
look like that. I would hope not. It's not big a
A.C.H,
trophy.
you win this beautiful yellow fire hydrant trophy.
And I was trying. This is a little fun fact about the trophy. I was trying to write "You did it" on the trophy, but I ran out of room, so now it just looks like a design on the trophy. So I'm not gonna say anything.
It's like the trophies you win in school. You did it. A+ reading efforts.
I was thinking of the meme with like the star that says "You tried."
Yeah.
But you did it.
It's
So now I'm
true.
gonna make a tweet.
Yeah, so now she's gonna tweet him. And then Kyla has her wrestler spotlight to do for the end of the episode.
Hey, A.C.H. What's his name? Oh, there it is. Hey, A.C.H. Do you like capes, my dude? Also, can you rate this drawing on a scale of 1 to 10?
I can't wait for us to meet him, hopefully at AAW in August, and you're gonna be like, hey, remember this drawing? You could have him sign it.
Okay, so there's the tweet, and I'm tweeting it now.
There you go. Got it.
And I guess she can keep an eye on to see if he replies or not while I'm doing my spotlight.
Okay.
Alright, so my spotlight is on the one and only Jimmy Havoc, who I love dearly. So, Jimmy Havoc was born in Dapford, Kent, England. He was trained at an NWA UK Hammerlock under Andre Baker and John Ryan, along with Zack Sabre Jr., and he debuted in 2004. He mainly wrestled under Hammerlock until 2006, when he made his first appearance as a deathmatch wrestler at Triple X Wrestling. Havoc then debuted for Progress Wrestling on Chapter 2 event in May of 2012 after doing a long campaign to get himself booked by the promotion. Basically, he made a bunch of videos online telling people to get Progress to book him. It was a very babyface, which is like not something you're usually used to when you think of Jimmy Havoc. Although he would go on to lose 6 matches, he quickly became a very popular babyface in the company, surprisingly. It wasn't until Chapter 9 where Havoc turned heel by attacking the promoter Jim Smallman. After that, Havoc would go on to defeat current Progress champion Mark Andrews and become the longest reigning champion in Progress to date with a 609-day reign. Since then, Havoc has joined forces with Mark Haskins and Flash Morgan Webster after Havoc was attacked by British Strong Style at Chapter 43. As for other promotions, Jimmy has become the first British wrestler to compete and win in a CCW Tournament of Death. He's also held titles in What Cultural Pro Wrestling and Defiant. As for matches, I would recommend the following. I would recommend Pete Dunne versus Jimmy at Chapter 43. It's an amazing match, a good match to start off. And Jimmy versus Jinny at Riptide Spring Break was a really good match as well. Jimmy versus Matt Riddle versus Keith Lee at Riptide in a table match was unbelievably amazing. Even though they had some issues in the match, it was really good. Jimmy versus Eddie Edwards at Rev Pro, which I actually did my match of the day on yesterday. So you can check that out on our Twitter. And then Jimmy versus Will Ospreay at Chapter 20, which is probably one of the most talked about feuds in Progress, as well as one of the top matches that are talked about. So those are my matches that I would highly recommend everyone check out.
Nice. Definitely go check those out. Check out Jimmy Havoc, whether you already love him or maybe you haven't actually watched him yet. So
Agreed.
That has been episode 3 of Power Bob-Omb Girls. So thank you guys for watching or listening and sticking it out with us. We really love doing these, so we'll definitely be still sticking to doing them every 2 weeks. During the G1, we might actually do some special episodes as well. Those would probably just be restricted to YouTube, though, where we'll do a quick weekly recap of the G1 and predictions and top matches for you to check out from the week. So we have big things planned. We're both going to All In, which is really exciting. I think we mentioned that last time, but we have all kinds of really cool content planned for you guys for when Kyla makes it to Chicago, and Power Bob-Omb Girls will actually be united. So
and meet it in first person.
Yeah, so we have all kinds of really big plans.
Completely wrong to ignore that.
What?
I said meet it in first person.
We're gonna meet it in person. It's gonna be fucking awesome. But yeah, we have lots of really big things planned for the channel, so definitely subscribe on YouTube, listen to us on iTunes. We have our podcast up on there, or you can go to our Libsyn page. We always post all of them when we post the new episodes, so definitely check us out. We also wanted to thank the Pro Wrestling Mothership podcast for giving us a shout out on one of their episodes. They're a really great podcast for you to check out, and they've been around a lot longer, and they're definitely one of my favorites. And they're really good people to interact with on Twitter, so definitely check out all of them and the Pro Wrestling Mothership podcast as well. So we just wanted to give them a big thank you. So thank you to everyone who's been watching, and let us know what you think of the episode. Make sure you vote in our polls, and we will update you guys if A.C.H responds, either via Twitter or in our next episode. So, yeah. Power Bob-Omb Girls are out. Thanks for another great episode, guys.
Right. Bye.